There we go. Okay. So today we're doing morning map with weights. We're going to start in a standing position. So hopefully you can still see me. My head might be cut off. And actually, you don't need your weights to start with. We're going to start with our footwork, which in a standing position. So the first thing I want you to do is stand in parallel. And I want you to think about your head over your shoulders, over your ribs, over your pelvis, also, and over your feet. Now, feel where you're weighted. If you're on your heels, chances are you're leaning back. If you're on your toes, right, you're leaning forward. And we need to be about 60% on the heel, 40% on the ball of the foot. And then I want you to put your hands in the front and the back of your body. Once you feel like you're kind of neutral, and that's where your pubic bone and hip bones are in the same angle, right? So I'm not tilted forward or tilted back. Then that's where you have a neutral pelvis, and that's your natural curve. Everybody's curve is different, right? So I want you to just put that image in your brain of where your curve is, because I'm going to talk a lot about keeping your natural curve. All right, so everybody knows their natural curve. We're going to go into our Pilates stance. So it's a heels together, toes slightly apart, and we're going to do footwork. So I want you to keep your heels really engaged. I want you to have connection into the floor with the ball of your feet as if you were on that foot bar. And I just want you to bend and extend. Now, you can always keep your hands here. I want you to maintain that neutral pelvis, because once we start to lift up onto the toes, and of course that is optional and you only want to go as high as you can keep the heels together, most of us will anteriorly tilt and the arch will go bigger into our back. So, all right, you can stay here and just warm up. If that doesn't feel good on the knees, you can do some squats, and we're just going to start with that footwork. All right, so you're going to bend your knees. You're going to keep your natural curve and lift your heels. Hold in from your belly, open your backbones, extend, and then lower, okay? And start to pay attention how you sway. Bend, lift. So even though the heels are lifted, we're still trying to keep our weight back, up and down. All right, let's do that. 4 more. Lift, up and down. 3, lift, up and down. 2, lift, up and down. Last one. Excellent. Now reverse it. Lift. Woo. Oh, see how it makes you fall forward? You got to stay upright. Bend, lower, extend. Now try to get those inner thighs on. Lift, bend, lower, and lift. Now when you lift, think about pulling that stomach in, keeping those backbones long. Remember those little tuna cans, flying saucers. Good. Let's do that 3 more times. Lift, bend. Imagine your foot bar underneath the ball of your foot, and you're constantly pressing into your mat. Last one. Okay, excellent. So I want you to make your way down onto your mat. We're going to start with our 100. So come down, lie on your back, and we're going to change the variation of the footwork, of the angle of the legs. So hands by your side. I want you to bring one leg to tabletop and then the other. Are you able to maintain your natural curve? If you tend to have a tight back and need to pull the knees towards you, that's safe, right? But ideally, we'd have you where you'd have that shape. Now, I want you to lift the head, neck, and chest, and instead of pumping the arms, we're going to inhale, extend the legs out for 5, exhale, pull them back in. All right, let's go with that. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, pay attention to that curve in your back. So as you extend the legs out, are you able to maintain that curve, your natural curve? Everybody's is different. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 more, because I'm not really good at counting. And 3. And 2. 1 more. Now, just come in and hug your knees. We're going to do another set, but this time we're going to take the legs up to the ceiling. Remember, your ab curl is optional, but it is important to strengthen those upper abs. So hands by your side, lift the head, neck, and chest. If you don't have the head, neck, and chest up, remember you can take the arms up and kind of anchor into that upper core, right, to get those upper abs on, as if you had that push-through bar on your tower. And I want you to inhale straight up, exhale. So it's inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale. So the work you're doing is maintaining the curve. When you extend the legs up, are you pushing your back down? I don't want you to do that. I want you to keep your pelvis down and keep your natural curve. And you're going to feel that co-contraction, that spine sandwich between the front and back of the body. So it's inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale. And let's do 2 more. And last one. And rest the arms. Okay, so now let's do a challenge hold. You're going to take both legs up. You're going to flex them. You're going to drop one leg down and hover it. If you can't hover, it's okay to hold the heel down. But we're just working on holding that leg up in space. You can also use your band here if you want to. This is a great modification for planks because I don't have to put any pressure on my shoulders. So I'm reaching my heels, one up and one out. Stomach pulled in, chest open, and just hold that. Can you believe we're planning for August? November, Thanksgiving will be here before you know it. So we're just starting to plan for that. All right, bring that leg up and switch to the other side. It almost feels like you have to wrap some imaginary saran wrap around your powerhouse. But did I drop into my low back? No, it's still my natural curve. I'm using the strength between my belly button and my pubic bone to keep my pelvis anchored. My leg is hovering. If you need to take a break and lower it, if you need to hold your leg for a second, that's okay. Keep breathing. And let's do 4, 3, 2, and hug in. All right, single leg circle. So now that we held that leg up, take one leg up. I want you to do a little external rotation. Set it where it doesn't, so if you have the leg too far forward, it'll imprint your back. And then this standing leg can be pressed into the mat or heel into the mat, reaching out. So we're going to circle across, out and around and up. Across, out and around 2. Across, out and around 3. We're going to do 8. 4, 5. Keep your pelvis still. Think about that natural curve. Come to the top and reverse it. Out and around and up. And 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 more, 7, last one. Hug that knee in. Let's switch to the other side. Opposite leg comes up. We're going to externally rotate. So now what I've learned about my left, you always hear me, my lazy left glute. It's because my hamstring is tight. So I'm working on that with my release work. All right, so you can see when I extend this out, I can't really get my hamstring down. So on this one, I'm going to modify that leg and press. Down around under 1. Now, when we get into the arm work, if it's too much on your shoulders, this is a great move to come back to, right? If you need to modify and do something while we're doing some upper body. Dawn, you know I'm talking to you. So, good. 3, 2, remember form is really important. Reverse it. So it's okay to modify with a prop or like with my leg bent so I can work the muscle versus trying to strain and use something to compensate. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Okay, hug those knees in. We're going to go into coordination. You can use your weights if you want to here, but really you don't need to. All right, so if you have your weights, you have them in your hands, palms facing towards the back end of your mat. An ab curl is optional. Coordination, you're going to press the arms and legs out, open, close the legs, bend the knees, bend the arms. Okay, so let's do 5, and then we're going to do some variation of that. Press out, open, close, bend, and bend. 2, open, close, bend, and bend. 3, open, close, bend, and bend. Notice my elbows are floating over the mat to keep my shoulder in proper alignment versus down on the mat. Excellent. All right. This time when we do it, we're going to take one leg out to the side and then the other leg. It'll really challenge your core and the mobility in the hip. It might be hard to see me on the camera, so let's try that together. Ab curl up. You're going to press out. My right leg is going to go out. My left one stays pointing forward and bring it back in. My left one goes out, bring it back in, pull the knees in and the arms. You can always lower down. Press out. Right leg goes out. Left leg goes out. Really stabilize. Bend and bend. 2 more. Press out. Right leg goes out. Left leg goes out. Bend and bend. Last one. And then we have one more variation of this one. Good. And bend and bend. All right, this time I need you to find your midline. Your heels are going to be hooked together. You're going to move both legs out to the right, back to the center, and then to the left, back to center, and then bend down. Okay? So last 4, you're going to press out. You're going to hook the legs together and take them both to one side. Center to the other side. Center, bend, and bend. 3 more. Press out. Take them to one side. Don't let the heels shift. So it's going to be a smaller range than you probably think. Bend and bend. Feel that length on the lateral side of your body. Reach, reach, bend, and bend one more time. Reach out. One side. Oh, it's so hard not to get the heels to slip. Bend and bend. Lower down. Give yourself a nice stretch. You can arch that back if you want to stretch out your stomach. Nice breath. And then we're going to go into a rowing series. So roll yourself up, right to the side is ideal, safest for your back. And then we're going to row. So if I'm sitting here, do I have my, and I'm like this, do I have my natural curve? No, I'm flat. Now I can lift and create that. I can bend the knees, that assists. Or if you're just tight, watch what happens when you take that block. And now finding that natural curve where my pubic bone and my hip bones is easy, right? So of course we're working on doing it where our legs are out in front and we're seated, but it's more important to have proper form than to compensate. All right, so let's do our rowing series. We're gonna do, first we're gonna do bicep curls. So you're gonna turn the palms up with or without the weights. Sitting up, I want you to think, pull the low belly in, natural curve in your back, and we're gonna curl for 10. 10, so my chest is nice and open. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, biceps, good. Now, turn the palms so that the palms are facing one another, right, like that. And you're going to pull in, the fists will come together, the elbows are in line with your shoulders, and then back out. So I can have them glued together. I'm working my core as much, if not more, than my arms. 2, 10 of these. 3, 4, we're going to do 2 sets, so don't worry if you're not quite right. 6, 7, 8, top of that shoulder, last one. And then it's chest expansion. Now we have the floor here, unless you're on a block or you're short like I am. So you may have to go out at an angle. So palms are facing down now, okay? So nice and tall, press back. Triceps and that mid back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's do 10, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, we're going to repeat that. Now, how will that change if we find our midline? So I want you, whether your knees are bent or your legs are straight, for you to hook your heels together. If you can get the knuckle of the big toe together, and I want you to squeeze, all right? So now we're going to make it a full body. Abs in, backbone's lifted, 10 bicep curls. Now my legs are really on 2, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, there's anybody's inner thighs talking to them, 2, 1, palms facing one another, pull in and back out, 10. Oh, keep those legs on, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then out to the side, last set. Inner thighs, 2, heels, press them together, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nice job. All right, we're going to do our rowing series for the front. So I'm going to crisscross the legs. Again, if you want to keep the legs out, but your engagement is going to be a little bit different here, we're going to find your pelvic floor. So first, let's do the arm series. We have your shave, your hug, and your serve a tray. So first, just relax the legs. And let's go to your shave. Now remember, no weights. You don't have to have weights. You're going to be right here at your forehead or way back here if your rib cage didn't just pop out. So find the range that works for your shoulders. Press up, right? I'm going to cross these weights. And 2. Now, this should not just be a tricep lift. You want to engage your middle back and your upper abs. Of course, we have our low abs and our backbones lifted. We always have that. Good. I lose my count. Let's do 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. It's so funny when I'm in the camera, I always see this is my tight right side. If you see that, I'm always like, oh, can I fix that? All right, out to the side for your hug a tree. Again, no weights. If you don't, that bothers your shoulder. Think shoulder blades. Protract and retract. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. Serve a tray. It's going to get some good external rotation of that shoulder. Elbows are close. You're going to lift out like I've got a tray. I'm going to open the arms. Now, keep your palms up. Pull your elbows in. You have to hold that external rotation. You're going to feel that in the front of your shoulder, and then internal rotation. Out, open, and 2. This is a good one. We're going to do 10 of these. They just take a little longer. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, last one. Excellent. Okay, now how do we incorporate lower body? If you have your legs out in front, you're going to do just what we did, hook the heels together. If you're cross-legged like me, you're going to press the outside blade of your foot. You're going to lift your knees, but press down with your feet. You're going to feel your pelvic floor lift, okay? So if you don't want to do, if your arms are already tired and you don't want to use weights on the second set, please put them down. We don't want to mess up the shoulder and go back into your shave, right? So I am really pressing my feet down. I've got my knees up. It's okay to have the knees up. Pull my ribs in. Now, did you know that you're supposed to go all the way down to C7 with this if you can? for me because I lose my upper abs. Now I'm going to try to work that though. 4. Now 5. Now did you forget about your legs? 6. Make it a full body work. Your legs are going to be tired after this arm work. 8. And core, of course. 2 more. Out to hug a tree. And think about you having 2 big plates, right? It's not a tree. You're strong. You're pulling these 2 plates around. Good. Don't forget about your legs. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, my legs are getting tired. 9, but we're going to stay time under tension and serve. So even though we're not using weights, right, we can do the same technique of time under tension, which is what we use when we use the springs, where we resist to come in. So I'm holding this isometric contraction in my legs, and I'm building endurance. 5. Good. Feel that external rotation. 5 more. 4. 3. 2. Last one. Excellent. Oh, let all that go. All right. Hopefully you feel the whole body. Let's do some powerhouse work, right? Your abdominals. So we will be doing some rolling back. If that isn't good for you, we're going to start with the flat back range, and then as we go into rolling, you'll stay there. So turn to your side on your mat if you were facing forward. And so let's just take the hands, find the leg position, right? You can be out, you can anchor. Actually, I want everybody to flex their heels, right? And feel how that turns on. And so let's take the hands across the chest and just pretend like you're on your short box. Flat back, you've got the strap. You're pushing out into that imaginary energy now, right? That might feel good after pulling in so much. 3, lift up. 4, lift out of your waist. 5, who needs a strap? Look how far you're going. 5 more. We're doing 10 of everything today. A little bit longer reps because you were getting stronger. Press out to imaginary strap on your feet. Good. 1 more. I think that's 10. And then round over. Now, if your legs, right, we're doing a little bit too much work, shake them out. Now we're going to round back for 10. Again, if it's not good for your back, you're going to stay in your flat back. We're all going to have our feet. Imagine your strap, pressing out, same hand position. I'm going to pull my pubic bone up, round back, and then come back up. So we're basically doing your short box series. 2. You've been in the studio enough to kind of imagine some of those things I'm doing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, last one. All right, now rest your legs if you need to. We're going to add some rotation. I'm going to face you guys this way. We're going to go back to our flat back, hold, and we're going to do this flat and round. So if you're just staying with flat, you're going to do 2 sets. So you have my heels. I'm going to reach my arms out. If you want to add your weights, you can. This will give you extra shoulder work. You're going to go into a flat back that you can hold. Now, when I say flat back, I don't mean change the curve in your back. I just mean tilt yourself back to the back of your sits bones. So can you keep your natural curve, right, in that position? So once you're in that position, I want you to rotate to one side, center. Now, please be mindful that when we do this inflection and rotation, that can be contraindicated to some back positions. So flat, and I mean flat, natural curve. So we're still lifting from our low back. Good. 3 more sets. And 2. Last one. All right. My legs are trying to, now that we turned them on, I can't get them to turn off. All right, so we're gonna do that in a round back because I need that to open my back. Same thing, 10, so 5 to each side. Round back and hold, pull the belly in. My pubic bone is lifted up, so I'm opening those back bones. And I'm gonna do 5 and 5 to see how that changes the obliques. Make sure you're using your breath. Good, let's do 3. Oh, sorry, that's 2 more sets. And last one. Excellent. All right. Everybody come up. We're going to repeat that, but just cross your legs or have them out in front. Let's do some unweighted rotation. See if we can unwind that spine a little bit more. So sitting up tall, you're going to lift your spine as you rotate. Now keep your hips square and then lift and rotate, lift and rotate, lift and rotate. You'll feel that shoulder blade reach back, lift out of your spine, and then come back center. Do that to the other side. You'll kind of find where you get stuck. You lift and, oh, there's some more space. Oh, there's more space in my spine. And come back center. This should be safe for all backs because we're in our natural curve. We have no load on the spine and we're just rotating. You never want to force it though. Good. Lift and reach. So lift the spine, rotate, lift, rotate. Let's do that one more time to each side. Lift, rotate, lift, rotate, lift, rotate. Back to center, pull your low belly in. Last one, lift, rotate, lift, rotate, lift, rotate, center. All right, we're going to repeat that, 10 of each, flat back first. If you want to add your weights, you can. So if you have your weights, you'll have them out in front. I'm going to continue with the way we did the first set. I'm going to imagine pressing my feet out. I'm going to extend them out a little bit because my quads are really wanting to turn on. And I'm going to hinge and think, get back into that natural curve. So think lift from your low back, 2, 3, 4. Holy goodness, my leg. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, round back. Same thing. Round, pubic bone lifts, come back up, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, rotation, 5 on each side, flat back first, weights optional. I'm gonna do without. So I'm gonna go into my flat back hinge. I need to find something to get my legs out of my quads. And I'm gonna rotate 1. So sometimes if you take the load away, you can get it out of your shoulders and more into your glutes. I know you might have heard me talk about my tighter right side. So that's why I chose not to focus on the shoulders. I really need to open up my waist. 1 more in a flat back position, right? So you can feel your sits bones digging into your mat and round up. I think that was 5. I lose count. All right, round back, same thing. Round back, tuck. This feels really good opening my back. And then, but again, flexion and rotation can fire things up. If you have degenerative, like any kind of slippage in the disc, any facet syndrome. right? So where's your head? Right? Are we leaning our head forward or are we keeping it over our shoulders? Excellent. I think that was it. Come on up. So speaking of the head, let's do a little stretch there. Take it out. So take one hand, draw that ear down towards your shoulder. The opposite hand. I know we all probably need this. This is one of those you go, oh, that was so good. Why don't I do that every morning? Now, drop your chin, right? You can always change the position on your head. And then do some little nods like, no, or that's a yes, right? Are we saying yes a lot these days? Or are we saying no? And just feel that along your neck. Excellent. All right, let's do that on the other side. Oh, my right side. Take that arm to the back if that doesn't hurt, right? Because if you have any impingement, that could be painful. So you can just have the arm down by your side. And then I'm gonna drop my chin. Feel how it stretches more. That's your scaly, your levator. And then you're gonna do your yes or no, it doesn't matter what order. So we're gonna do some extension next, like really focused on thoracic extension. But we're gonna try to keep the lumbar in our natural curve. Interesting. Excellent, good. And then come on up. So go ahead and go down on your stomach. All right, so I want you to, just like when we were standing, like when you're on a mat, you can use your pubic bone and hip bone as your guidepost. So for some people, they have to lift the legs to get the pubic bone to anchor. And for some people, we have to really press them down. Okay, let me admit her. Excuse me. Let's see, admit. There, okay. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep, so that's neutral. So hopefully that should feel, if you put your hand back there, it should feel like that same natural curve, especially if your head is down, as if you were standing, right? Our legs are right underneath our pelvis. And then we're gonna just do thoracic extension. So I want you to take your hands by your shoulders. I don't want you to lift off of your hip bones or your pubic bone. Pull your stomach in and just lift your thoracic spine, which is your upper back, and then lower back down. Right? Remember, if you don't feel your pubic bone, lift your legs slightly. Thoracic extension and lower down. I wish Becky was on with all of her cycling we've been talking about. Strengthening her upper back muscles. And down. Good. So you'll see my curve change, but this down here stays natural. It's that I'm going from here up to find that extension. Now, we're going to do our IYMT. This is our shoulder therapy. We're going to take one hand underneath your head, and then take one arm out to kind of like a Y position. Place your head down. I want you to find that neutral pelvis, whether the legs have to be lifted or not. We're going to do 10. So we're going to lift and lower. Now, your ribs are anchored. You should not feel rotation in your rib cage. Otherwise, you're compensating for that lift. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, out to the side, palm facing down, right out from your shoulder. Head down, right neutral, pelvis, rib cage down, pull your low belly up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Now, if this hurts your shoulder, you can try different angles. 2, and 1. Now take it beside you with your palm facing up. This is going to internally rotate the shoulder. So first, draw your fingertips way past your hips. Find your neutral pelvis and lift. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're going to repeat that on the other side. So right arm is out at a 45 degree, that's called scaption. Hand is down. All right, thumb is up. I don't know if I cued you on that.
pelvis neutral, belly pulled in, lift 10. 9, this is really good, Beth. I'm glad you joined because this is for you. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, are you rolling off your hip? I am off on my left side. I got to anchor more. And then out to the side, palm facing down. I don't know if you can see my hand, but just back out to the from the shoulder. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let me take 1 second to tell you what's going on with my body because it might be happening to yours. On this side, I can feel my left hip bone lifting. So I'm only going to lift that leg to help me anchor that. And the mobility around my shoulder is easier. If I'm finding that I'm rotating, my body's trying to adjust. And so then my shoulder's not working the proper way. Remember, form matters. So if that's happening to you, use that little cue. We're going to take that hand down by your side. I'm lifting my left leg to get my left hip bone down, and then I'm going to lift. Now my shoulder feels better. 2, 3, 4. I always love to work with Jessica. She has a shoulder issue, but I always tell her she's got to work her entire body because if you have any kind of twist in the pelvis, it's going to feed up into your body. Good. So 5, I don't think she's on. I think she's at the beach. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Now we're going to add the legs just like we did before. I want you to glue your legs together. If this creates any pressure in your SI joint or your low back, don't do it, right? You can still engage your heels together, but they're not touching. Same thing. Let's go through these quickly. I'm going to find my pelvis neutral, my tummy pulled in, and I'm going to go 10. Now pay attention to the hip bones and the rib cage. 3, 4. Squeeze those heels together. 5, 6, 7. You don't have to be in turnout. You can have your big toe knuckles engaged too. Just the heels have to be touching. Out to the side, palm facing down. 10, 9, 8. Oh, I lost my stomach. Pull it in. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Palm facing up, down by your side of your body. Remember your legs. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Other side. Switch hands. Thumb up. Scaption. All right, I gotta lift my left leg. I'm gonna still think my heels are together. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out to the side, palm down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. By your side, palm facing up. 10, 9. Draw the shoulder down, fingertips past the hips. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sit back into a child's pose, and we're going to go back into that extension. Oh, hello, hamstrings. If you're engaging those legs, you just got a leg workout too. Now, you should be feeling this more mid-back versus low back unless you were coming out of your natural curve. If when you stretch back, you're like, oh, my low back, that feels so good. You know what? We got to work on that. So we're going to go back to that thoracic extension, and then we're going to talk about lumbar extension. So come back down. Let's try it now with those legs together. So I have the knuckle of my big toe and my heel together. Hands by, find my neutral pelvis, lift up into my thoracic for 5. Now, connect your low abdominals. Think about opening, right? If I have my glutes too tight, I'm going to crunch my lower back. So think about keeping those 5 tuna cans open. This is really hard for me because I have a tight back and I automatically want to go into extension. Now,
If you're going to go into lumbar extension, you have to keep your abdominals engaged. Otherwise, you're just doing damage, okay?
So if you are here in swan, right, in kind of, let's take the arms out a little wider. Pull your stomach in, lift your thoracic.
Now, you have to lift from your stomach and then come up. Don't lose your stomach. Did your stomach pooch out? Did you lose that connection to your abdominals? And then lower back down.
Let's do that 5. Stomach in,
Thoracic. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. At what point do you lose it? And then come back down. And you should know by now what I'm talking about, right? You feel that the abs pulling in and keep it connected.
and low belly,
Thoracic, reach your spine forward as you come up. All right, I'm getting a little higher and a little higher. It's a lot harder with the feet together. Have you noticed? And then one more. Stomach, 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 stomach. Excellent. So how often have you just swan, right? That's damaging your back. So get back. Again, in this position, when you come back, you should feel a nice stretch, not where you tightened it in the lumbar. All right. We're going to go into our back. If you want to use your weights for bridge, you can. Grab them. Let's work your glutes. All right, so we're going to have our feet, I would say 2 fist width apart, right? So kind of as wide as your hips. Arms down by your side. I want you to anchor into your heels. And so we're going to start the lift by pressing into your heels. And then as you come up, you'll feel the weight shift into the ball of the feet as you reach the knees towards the opposite end of your mat. Now, lower back down. I mentioned earlier that my left hamstring is weaker. So heels, toes. What I notice here is I'm not shifting into my ball of my foot on my left foot. Just can't get it to connect. So this is why we go into single, right? I want you to do that 3 more times. I know we're doing these slow, but I want you to feel the activation in your glutes, the weight in your heels. The hamstrings kick in as you go into your ball of your feet because the angle of the knee changes. And then roll back down. And flat back is just fine, right? 2 more. Right? Are you feeling, okay, my left one's starting to turn on a little bit more. And come back down. Sometimes we just go too fast. And last one. Now, I've got my stomach. I'm pulling my pubic bone up. I am imprinting on this one. Heels, glutes, hamstrings, ball of my feet. Now, lower yourself back down and set up for a single leg. I want you to start with your stronger leg. Glue your legs together. I want your heels together. Your knees might not be together, but I want your heels together, okay? So I want you to lift yourself up. I'm going to go to my right. So now I'm going to press into my right heel as I take my left one up. I'm going to straighten out that foot because it wasn't quite. And I'm going to lower down and up, right? You can always use a ball underneath your hips if this is too difficult for you. You won't be able to go as low, but you can do a small pulse, but your body will feel like it has some support. Now, because we connected with the heel, are you feeling your inner thigh as well? You should. I want you to feel the inside edge of your right, or whatever foot is down, your heel and your big toe. Remember, every time you push up, I want weight into the ball of that foot. Let's do 2 more. So I always want you to start with your stronger so it can talk to your brain and then come down about what the weaker side's going to do. Most of us have a weaker side. Heels are together. My knees are slightly apart. I'm kind of like in a little V. I'm going to get myself up. All right, and then I'm going to press into my weak side, my left, and bring my right. Now, just that connecting into my heel really helped me turn that leg on more. I'm going to go down, press heel, ball of the toe. 10, 9, 8, 7. Do you have the inside edge of that leg, standing leg? Do you feel the inner thigh as well?
Who said bridge had to just be glute work? Good. I lose count. We'll do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. We're going to repeat that. 5 slow curls or flat back, 10 on each side. If you want to add an extra load, you are more than welcome to. When you hold your weights, you lose the ability to connect into your back, however. So if that's more important for you, if you're kind of locked long in your back, don't use the weights. So otherwise, you're going to hold the weights onto your legs. Let's go back hip width apart. Right, draw your shoulders down, press into your heels, and lift. Follow the feet. It should work better. And roll down or flat back down. And 2. Now, when you come all the way back down, I want you to come back to that natural curve of your back. Right, so my pelvis goes neutral, and there's my curve. Everybody is different. You need to be familiar with your natural curve. Good. Are you paying attention, or are you just doing the move, right? Are you paying attention to the weight of your heels and then to the ball of the feet, right? Paul, this was great for Paul to not cramp once he started to pay attention to your feet. Now hold it here for me, right? Everybody come up and hold. I'm gonna slide my feet in a little bit more. Let's just give you a little challenge. Lift your heels, lower your heels. Now, my calves immediately turned on, but let me add my glutes. There we go. And do that 10, and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and roll back, flat back to neutral. Glue the legs together. If you're like, yeah, I really need to anchor into my back, put those weights down. Heels together, right? My knees are not together. I'm going to come up. I'm going to go to my stronger leg. I'm going to anchor into the inside of my standing leg. If you want weight, right, you're going to be on the standing leg doing the work. So just put that weight on that one thigh, down and up 10. So this is a flat back. 9, squeeze. Heel, big toe. 3, heel, big toe. 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember, 4 matters. 8, 9. One more. Excellent. Lower down all the way. Set up. All right. Same thing other side. Heels together. Lift. Standing leg anchors. 10. Heel. Big toe. On that inside edge of your standing leg, find the inner thigh. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, set the weights to the side. I want us to do single leg circles again, see how we have changed, and then we're going to do our clam work, our side. So let's take one leg up. Now, if you felt in the very beginning of the session that leg was tight, hopefully that activation helped release it. I'm going to extend my other leg down. This is my good leg. I'm going to do a little turnout, out and around 8. Now, do I have more stability in my hips? 2. Do I have my natural curve? 3. Is my standing leg able to reach out and be as flat as possible forward with my heel anchored? 5, 6, 7, 8. Reverse it. 8. Up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Starting to wobble. 7. I'm starting to realize how I lean out on that right. 8. All right. So for me, remember this is my tight leg. Let's see if you're the same. Can I extend it up? Still a little tight, but now I can reach this leg down. Whereas before I felt like it was going to pull this leg too much. A little turn out and around, up. You might not feel a change. This is typically done in the beginning of a workout, but I like it as an assessment because it's everything, right? Are your ribs staying? Are you rocking through your ribs? Are you rocking through your hips? Are you losing your low abdominals? And then we'll reverse it for 8. Two more. Excellent. All right, so you don't always have to stretch to find length in the body. All right, let's turn to our side. My favorite, side lying and clam. All right, let's pick 3 of our favorite moves. So if you need something under your head, right, you can use your block. You can fold your arm over. And you are more than welcome to use weight, right? So my favorite clam is the one with the heel lifted. Lifting through the waist, and then we're going to do 2 of the side lying. So we're going to do 10. We'll repeat this. So the first set, I'm not going to use weight, and the second set, I will. Pull my stomach in, find my hip, like if you have a piece of rebarb, right, pressing down, and I'm going to lift. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Feel that hip working. 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend the legs out, bring them slightly forward, lift this leg. I'm going to flex forward, pump, pump, and then to the back. Now, are we now so stable in our core that we can move that leg into a big range of motion without wobbling all over that bottom hip? 3, 4, anchor the side, the blade of that standing leg, just like you did in your arm work. We spent more time on legs, I know, but they're bigger muscles. I lost count. Let's do 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Now, we're going to do circles. If you're like, I really want a big circle, you can always grab your band for this. Or if you need to do more strengthening, do small circles. 5 in each direction. Forward, up, and around. 5. Right? We'll give you a little pause if you had to grab your band. 2. Remember, the band helps with that mobility. 3, but you don't want to be always dependent on it. 4, 1 more. 5, reverse it. Back behind you, up and around. 1, 2, 3. Notice how I'm anchoring into my back. 4 and 5. Give yourself a little bend. Take your arm, rotate through that spine. Oh, might have gotten a little pop. Oh, nice stretch. We're going to repeat that. I'll add the weight this time. You do not have to. All right, this is our last series, guys. We can do it. Pull your stomach in, anchor into your bottom hip. 10. So sometimes just adding that little bit of weight just takes it up in intensity. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, do you have your natural curve in your back? 8, or are you tucked? Fix that. Stick those sit bones out if you're a tail tucker. Good. Last one. Legs go out. Bring them slightly forward. I'm going to anchor my bottom foot. Kick, kick. And to the back. 2. Now I don't have that arm to help me anchor into my back, right? Decide what's most important. 3, 4. We're doing 10. 5, 6, 7. Use your mat. 8. Let it tell you if you're moving, and keep your natural back, right? Just because I'm bringing my leg forward doesn't mean I round my back, doesn't mean I arch. I'm going to do big circles, so I'm going to anchor into my back, forward, up, to the back. 5, 4, stomach in. 3, 2, 1 more. So good. Reverse it. Back, up, and around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 more. 5. Excellent. Little rotation, bend, and stretch. Now you can even take that other hand and press down on the knees. Feel those obliques. Those get worked even in sideline. All right, we're gonna do that on the other side, and then we'll be done for our session for today. Oh, see how that leg feels? Other side. All right, we're gonna bend. I'm not gonna use my weight on my first one, lift my heels, right? I told you I'd give you a second in case you had to you were grabbing your band, so let's just give everybody a second. Remember, you wanna pull in. So the reason Joe Pilates had you on a mat, whether it's the carriage, the floor, the Cadillac, is so that you could use it for proprioception. So when you're doing this series, you're supposed to be focused on the area that's touching and noticing if you're doing a lot of this, right? All right, so let's do that. I have my natural curve, so put your hand back there if you need to. Did you tuck, right, when you brought those knees forward? And lift, 10. I like to put my hand there, especially on my lazy side. 3. Now, I don't know if you can see that because I don't have light behind me, but my bottom waist should be my natural curve of my side body. And I know I should have a bigger curve on this right side because that's my tighter side. In fact, I don't really have to hold it up. It just stays up there. Good. Let's do 4 more. Use my counting. 3, 2, 1 more. Excellent. Extend the legs out, bring them slightly forward. Anchor the bottom leg. Anchor into your back. Kick, kick. So here, bring the leg forward. Did you just flatten out your back? Right? See if you can pull that leg bone in, find your natural curve, and then when you take it to the back, or do you have a bigger arch? Otherwise, you're going too far back. Kick, kick, and back. 2. Now, pay attention to that hip. 3. Is it wobbling? 4. Mine wants to wobble on this side. My weaker, strong, tighter side. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Circle, big or little, grab your band if you need it. Stomach pulled in, waist lifted. 5 in each direction. 2. Good, we're gonna reverse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees. Rotational stretch. We're going to repeat that with or without the weight. I know we're running a little over time. I'm sorry. Try to hang in there with me. If not, I will hopefully see you guys next week. So I'm going to do this pretty quick. Just looked at the clock, realized we were over time. Probably because I was chatting. 10 in the beginning. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the legs, right? Anchor the bottom one, back and forth, 10, and back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, circle. Remember, I like to drop my weight. Big circle, 5 in each direction. 4. Oh, it's moving better. Even the second set. 3, 2, 1. Reverse it. Back. Don't arch when you take it back. 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost there. Good. 2 more. Excellent. And then a little rotational stretch. hold on to that knee if you have that and stretch a little further. Hang out there for a minute. I'm going to come up and end our recording, and then I have a few minutes if anybody has any questions. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today. I'm going to stop the recording.